Well, good morning. It is Friday morning. Yes, weekend is upon us. Trusting that many of you will find your way back to church, because this is what we're talking about. Let's talk church. Church or no church. And so this morning, I want to speak to you about there is a sound coming. What sound will you hear? You see, there is a sound coming. What sound will you hear? Well, we've been talking about Exodus 32. Moses kind of was taking his time from coming down from the mountain. He was having a good time with God. He spent 40 days and 40 nights in the presence of God. Israel below on the fringes of the mountain were becoming impatient because Moses wasn't showing up. They thought Moses has left them, and so they asked Aaron to build them a golden calf that they could worship. They went back to that which they left behind in Egypt. Isn't it crazy? Once we kind of backslide into that what we left behind, that we were set free from. We seem to go back to it. And that is crazy to see where the church is, how the church has lost its way during this time. You see, when Joshua descended the mountain with Moses, Joshua heard a sound that sounded like a battle taking place. He said, man, Moses, something is happening. Looks like there's a massive fight taking place in the camp. What is happening? Listen to Exodus 32, verse 18. Moses replied, no, Josh, it's not a shout of victory nor a wailing of defeat. I hear a sound of celebration. This means that they are up to no good, Joshua. We need to get down there as quick as possible. As I listen, and again, this is what we are doing. We are listening to the sound coming from the buildings of various churches. It too is not the sound of a battle, but a sound of much confusion. I hear the church being confused. Should we come back to church? Shouldn't we come back to church? Should we stay at home? Can we stay online? Rather stay online than come back to church? No, well, you know what? Online's not going to stop. We'll always be there, out there, reaching those who still find it difficult to return. So our channel will always be remained and will always be open to help people, to encourage people, not to condemn. Now, let me tell you, this week's talk is not a talk of condemnation, but a talk again to open your eyes to see what the enemy is doing, how the devil is working on the minds and the lives of people, of keeping them back from worshiping God the way we have been designed to. Again, Hebrews tells us, Hebrews 10 says, neglect not the gathering together of the saints. We need to come back. The church needs to come back to worship God as a body, as one together. Yes, we worship online, but it's still not the same. It still hasn't got that oneness that I believe God said is found when the church comes together. You see, the sound of victory that was once heard has now become a sound of the church standing on the fringes, confused to what church has become. Now, I want to say to you this, the message has never changed. The message will always remain the same. Yes, the way we conduct things, yes, the way we do church is different to what we've left behind. But that does not mean we are neglecting worshiping the way God designed the church to worship as one. Now, most people now do not take the all welcome sign to that once was in an invitation card of most churches seriously. We don't, that all welcome sign is like, really? Do I want to go there? Do they wear masks? Do they sanitize? Do they wash their hands? Do they social distance from each other? Is there space enough? Will I contract the disease? Will I contract COVID if I enter the church? Am I really welcome? Isn't there a danger? Aren't there dangers in the church that could infect me? Well, Your infection you can pick up anywhere. This COVID can be picked up anywhere, at your workplace, around those who you travel with every day in the vehicle going to work, getting out there into the shopping centers. I see the shopping centers crowded more so than what I see the church crowded on a Sunday. There is more space in churches today, and especially our church. There is more space in our church than what I see in many restaurants. And so why are we holding back? What is the fear driving us from not coming back to worshiping God the way we were designed to worship? You see, I think about this often. If you don't go to church, would you take that as an invitation? Well, I want to invite you. I want to invite you back. I want you to get back to your church. Now, again, whatever church you attend, prior to lockdown, you need to get back there. You need to find out what is happening. You might have missed out much of what is taking place and what God is saying directly to His church as the church gathers together on a Sunday. You see, if we're going to get people back into a church building, then it's time for us to lead people back to church in person. There we go. So the challenge is out there for you, that if you're going to lead people back by inviting them, not just holding on to an all welcome sign, but you need to become that welcome sign that will say, you know what, I welcome you back into church. Come, let me fetch you. Come, let me take you. Come, let me walk with you. Come, let me lead you back. I will show you how safe it is. And we will keep our distance. We will sanitize. We will wear our masks. We will wash our hands. We will make sure that you will have a distance between those around you. Because this is important for us to kill this one thing that needs to be killed, and that is fear. Fear is holding us captive, and we need to destroy fear. This virus is a killer, but we cannot win this fight if a spirit of fear controls us. We have to deal with the spirit of fear. We do not have the right to force people back to church, but we should not force people not to attend church, because Jesus Christ is soon to return. And I want you to be prepared. When that trumpet sounds, I want you to be ready to be accepted into that what God has prepared for us. Because Jesus said, I go and prepare a place for you. And He's soon to return for His church. A church that is a bride, not fragmented, not scattered, but together. It's time for the church to come back and be the church. Until next time, God bless you. Hope to see you Sunday in church.